The streets of New York were bustling as usual, bathed in the golden hues of the sunset. Keanu Reeves, on one of his casual walks, found himself lost in thought. His life had been a whirlwind of successes and failures, but the quiet moments were where he felt most connected to himself. As he turned a corner, a young man sitting on a bench caught his attention. The man wore a tattered jacket, clutching a worn-out notebook. His pen moved rapidly across the pages, as though he was pouring his soul into every word. His intensity was captivating. Keanu stopped for a moment, struck by the scene. With a kind smile, he asked, "Hi there, what are you writing?" The young man, startled, looked up. His eyes widened as he recognized Keanu Reeves. "My dreams," he stammered softly, almost as if afraid the words themselves were too fragile to say aloud. Keanu's curiosity deepened. "Dreams? That's a fantastic subject," he said with a warm laugh. "But why are they locked in that notebook?" The young man hesitated, his shoulders slumping slightly. "I guess they're not good enough to be shared," he admitted. Sensing the young man's unease, Keanu suggested they continue their conversation in a nearby park. They found a quiet bench under a canopy of trees, the city's noise fading into the background. The young man began to open up. "I've always loved writing," he said. "When I was a kid, it was my escape. Every word felt like a doorway to another world, far away from the chaos of my life. But as I got older, people kept telling me to be realistic. My parents wanted me to find a stable job, something practical. Writing. It doesn't fit that mold." Keanu nodded, his expression soft with understanding. "It's tough when the world tells you to follow one path but your heart pulls you in another direction," he said. "I've been there. When I started out in acting, I faced rejection after rejection. People told me I wasn't good enough, that I should give up and find something more practical. But I couldn't. Acting was what made me feel alive." The young man seemed intrigued. "But what if I try and fail?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Keanu leaned forward, his voice steady and reassuring. "Failure is part of the process," he said. "It's not the opposite of success, it's a step on the way there. Every failure teaches you something new, something you can't learn any other way. What you've written in that notebook might inspire someone someday. But first, you have to believe it's worth sharing." The young man stared at the notebook in his hands, his thoughts racing. Keanu's words struck a chord, yet the fear of rejection still loomed large in his mind. Keanu reached into his pocket and pulled out a sleek white business card. He handed it to the young man, his expression calm but firm. "This is my contact information," he said. "Send me some of your work. I know people who can help you get it out into the world, but the first step has to come from you." The young man took the card with trembling hands, his heart pounding in his chest. It wasn't just a piece of paper, it was a lifeline, a symbol of hope he hadn't dared to believe in. Keanu continued, "You don't have to know exactly where this road will take you. You just have to take the first step." "Life has a funny way of rewarding courage," the young man nodded, his grip tightening on the card. For the first time in years, he felt a flicker of confidence, a belief that maybe, just maybe, his dreams weren't as unreachable as he thought. Years passed, and the young man transformed his dreams into reality. His stories found their way into the hands of readers across the world, touching lives and inspiring others to pursue their own dreams. One evening, he stood on the grand stage of an international award ceremony, a crystal trophy in his hands. As he looked out at the applauding audience, his voice resonated with emotion. "This award isn't just mine," he began. "It belongs to someone who, on a quiet day in the park, reminded me of the value of my dreams." In the crowd, he saw Keanu Reeves sitting quietly, a proud smile on his face. Their eyes met, and the young man gave a small, grateful nod. Keanu stood, walked onto the stage, and placed a hand on his shoulder. "You did this yourself," Keanu said warmly. "I just saw the light in you and helped you see it too." The audience erupted into applause as the two men shared a moment of quiet triumph. It was a testament to the power of belief, the courage to take risks, and the unspoken bond between two dreamers who had found their way.